Hello, and welcome back to Tabletop Thoughts. Today, I was spending a little time at my desk airbrushing, so I thought, hey, this would be a nice time to record some of this. So, already did this guy, but as you can see, I took a maize yellow speed paint, added a little bit of water, ran it through the airbrush just for a base coat. I'm gonna build it up from here, but this is where I'm starting at. And then what I was thinking of, after I get him all painted, come back, put some glue down and put some like dead leaves and stuff like that underneath him. But now that I got the airbrush out, I loaded it with white, and I'm gonna start doing some zenithal highlighting on some of my other models. So we'll just start pulling them out. Here's the bin of models I have printed up. Now there are some in here that, you know, as you can see, this guy, no primer or anything on him, so I'll pull him out and stick him in a separate little container I have to the side, where they will go get a rattle can of primer put on them. But I have quite a few in there that need the primer. I have a bunch of them sitting back here on my desk as well. Like here's a wizard from Hero Quest. We're gonna prime all these guys while I'm sitting here, and I'll just kind of ramble on as I'm painting. Unfortunately, yeah, you're gonna hear this. This is my airbrush. So, unfortunately, I'll have to get used to that. But alright, all these are resin printed, of course, because if it's FDM I would just give it a slap chop with a highlight with a makeup brush just to speed it along. It doesn't need this kind of highlighting as much. FDM minis can take it. So normally I start, as you can see, about 45 degrees down on top of the mini, like that, and then I'll pick them up, have the airbrush over here like this, a little more directly down, and then normally I make sure, if I have to, I come in and just a little bit on it, just to highlight the face. I want their face to, I don't want it to be too much. I mean, if there's some shadows on it, that's fine, but you know, in general, I like their face to be lit up enough, because that's where I want the attention to draw. So if you look at him up here around his face and all that, that's where all of the brightness is. His legs towards the bottom, the back of his cloak at the bottom, and that can all be darker, because once you know, you should be drawing, your eyes should be drawn up here. I don't care so much about down here. Alright, here's a wood chipper guy. I think this guy is from the Printing Goes Ever On. I don't know at this point which episode or monthly pack it came out of, because I have hundreds of their models. Every month I get another one, another pack of these things. That's not too bad. The brightest up here towards his face, shoulders and stuff like that. When it gets further down, you know, a little darkness, or let's get a little bit back here. Yeah, not too bad. But this is a village guard from Fat Dragon Games. This guy is actually designed to be printed in FDM, so they're beefy enough. I could probably just take a makeup brush and do a slap chop highlight with the makeup brush, but since I busted this guy out already, we will just, you know, use the airbrush and get it done. Oh, not too bad. See, even these were designed for FDM. There's still a lot of detail in them. You can see all the buckles on his cloak. At least I can. Hopefully the camera's picking all that type of stuff up. But, yep, you can see the rivets on his shield. So, they do have a lot of, detail in that, even in FDM printed. Alright. Here's a guy with a couple of spears and apparently some little strings on them. Okay. Alright. I think this is supposed to be like an orc or a goblin. I don't know. Let's get a little color on here so we can. This will help bring out some of the details so we can see what we got here. All right. Yep. See, this is the part where now that I can kind of see, you can see I missed one of the supports right here off his ear. Let's break that off. Come back in and touch up our highlights a little. Oh, it's supposed to be like an orc warrior, I believe. Alright. Up next. Oh, this is another human. This is another from the printed. Goes over on. A couple of axes. He almost looks like he's, I don't know. Here, let me get a little color on him so you can see a little better. But it almost reminds me of a blacksmith who just grabbed a couple of axes like he's defending his home or something. Alright, need to get a little more color in here. Here's, it's a surface primer. This is what I'm running through my, oh, bless me, my airbrush. So add a few drops of that. To thin it out a little bit, I use this water-based reducer. A couple of drops of that. Some people buy little sticks to mix it up in. Some people use a Q-tip, but that absorbs too much paint. I normally just plug the end and then apply a little air. And you'll see where it's kind of bubbling it up. Mixing it up naturally. Alrighty. So a little bit on my mat here, just to make sure it's coming out. Back in business. Not too bad. Like I've said before, I would like to get better with my airbrush. Really, this is all I use it for. Come in, do some highlights. But not bad. I think this one is from EC3D Design off their Ghost City Kickstarter. if I'd ever get a chance to play like Cyberpunk or Neon Skies or something like that, I'll have a bunch of characters. So something to drop down. Another FDM printed one. Well, this one's in resin, but it's designed for FDM printing. This is from Brite Minis. Oops. Alright. Another guard from Fat Dragon Games. There's Elf Archer, I believe, from Brite Minis. Alright. Not too bad. Just a simple Elf Archer. Probably you could use him for like a ranger character or something like that. It's kind of hard to tell it's even an elf. I just know it is because I printed it out. This is from Brite Minis, but it was like an Elf Archer. But yeah, you can't see his ears or anything like that, so he could be a human. And you can see most of the colors up here towards the top. I mean, like underneath his arm, it'll be darker, so that will naturally help when we come back in with speed paints. That those areas will be darker to kind of simulate the shadow. Alright. Skeleton Warrior. I want to say this guy is Fat Dragon Games. Not too bad. Not a bad model. He's not swimming in detail, but for something like a monster, especially something like a low-level monster where you're going to have, you know, maybe 6 to 10 of these guys on the table at a time, they don't have to have a lot of details. You know, these guys are there for a few rounds and then gone. But I mean, you can see like skeleton arms, he has his pants, the skeleton leg hanging out a little bit, shield and everything. So nice little monsters. Here's another one from EC3D Design for the Ghost City. Let's get a little color on her. Low again. Okay. Okay. There we go. Not too bad. All right. This is another skeleton. I believe this one is from EC3D Design. He's another company that I like. I know he does some that are support lists. This is from his Beast and Baddies. It is not support list, although it might make it, but yeah. Alright. There's a zombie. I think this is supposed to be from the pack that I got that's replacing the HeroClix. I mean, HeroClix, Hero Quest game. Because those zombies were carrying like these mate cleavers. Try to get a little bit more color on that cleaver here. There we go. Ooh, a Chaos Warrior from Hero Quest. Back. There we go. All right. Another wizard. Always. Oh, bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you. Always use wizard characters. I think this one is one of the alternates from the Hero Quest Deluxe game and STLs I bought. I already printed up the wizards and everything like that. I think I'm just going to keep this guy separate and use it for just a hero or something like that. Maybe if I ever get a chance to play games again in person, you know, somebody wants to be an older wizard, there you go. Just a little bit more, just to bring out his face a hair. In his hand. There we go. Although I must admit, I am getting slightly better at control here. Alright. Here's another... This goblin? It's hard to see. Those little ears. That looks like a goblin or orc to me. So I know for a fact this guy is resin printed, but I don't know if you can see there's lines up through them, which is kind of weird. So I don't know if this was next to a print that maybe failed or something like that, or, but that is really weird that there's like lines like that, unless that's supposed to be part of his cloak. It's part of the detail, and if that case, that might be part of the detail. Whatever. All right, here's a hero with a sword. Maybe an elf. This is definitely from the Printing Goes Ever On. I could tell because, like, that sword looks like it's not gonna survive long. It's gonna snap. I really like the Printing Goes Ever On. They have some really great sculpts and stuff like that. High details. I just wish they would, they're all 28 millimeter instead of 32. So, like here, you can tell they are a hair smaller. Now this is an elf, so he would be technically supposed to be a tad bit smaller, but like here's another elf. Almost the same height, but like as these are designed to be FDM printed, so they're a little beefier. I wish these were just a tad beefier. It's just, like this can snap. So we'll see if it makes it the whole way through painting. Alright, what else do we have? Work with a spear. Get a little highlight to this guy. Get him ready for the speed paint. Maybe a little bit more of his face area. There we go. I think I went a little heavy on that one. Another village guard from Fat Dragon Games. There we go. That wasn't too bad. All right. Another sci-fi guy. A couple of pistols, or maybe that's like a blade attached to his arm on this side. Alrighty. Not too bad. Alright. Now this looks like it's from Brite Minis, I can tell you that much. Looks like some kind of like Norse, like Viking or something like that type person. This is some. Yeah, Brite Mini Viking. Alright. What kind of hellhound hyena? Oh, it's a hyena. That's a hyena. Yes, it is. Alright. Oh, here's a dwarf. This is from Fat Dragon Games. They did a Kickstarter earlier this year, which was kind of nice. It had some dwarves. We got a bunch of extra monsters as part of the like stretch goals. So, oh, there's another support I missed. Not a bad looking dwarf. Alright, sci-fi guy at a bar. Holding a couple of beer mugs. Looks like he's sitting on a beer stool. I'm guessing I printed this out either if I'm ever going to make a sci-fi bar, or guess if we ever play and somebody's like, yeah, my guy's a party guy, you know, you can just use that as their mini. Kind of keeps pushing that, you know, they are a party guy. Here's another, this is Brite Minis. This is a lady with a sword. All right. All right. This was I can tell by the way it's mounted on the base. This was a pre-printed like plastic thing. It probably came from like a Bones 5 Kickstarter or something like that. Besides that, I haven't bought any minis in a while. I bought the Hero Quest game just because I wanted the game. But I generally don't buy minis anymore. As you can see, I print out a ton of them. I guess going out and buying them if there's something that I want. Alright, this looks like an... Yeah, this guy's FDM printed. You can see by the lines on the bottom. You can see the tracks where the FDM was laid down. So we'll stick him to the side. He can get a dry brush. Here's another resin guy. He is Fat Dragon Games skeleton. There we go. All right. Another orc. Yeah, we're not going to do that orc. it looks like there's a support in the back, but I'm not sure. I don't want to break it off. I'll have to wait till I can get my, I have some like magnifying glasses I can wear. Okay, here's another adventurer from Fat Dragon Games with a torch. That was another Kickstarter they did. I don't think it was the same one. I think it was one that was separate for, you know, heroes with torches, which of course I backed. I like Fat Dragon Games, so they release stuff. If it's something that I could use, I definitely back it. I know, I think it's May. They are going to do a Kickstarter for an armored, it's almost like Battletech. It's going to be armored robots, you know, probably minis about this high, and then hopefully include some of the train and stuff like that too, because I don't have any train that's built for like around 15mm scale. Here's a Hobo, probably for the sci-fi game. This is definitely EC3D. Pretty much all the sci-fi ones are. Brite Minis does some sci-fi stuff. I think Fat Dragon Games has a line that they did some STLs and that for like sci-fi things. I know they had a like a futuristic like war game type thing. I forget the name of it. But yeah, I never really backed any of that stuff. Wasn't my... Oh, another dwarf here. I gotta get some more primer in here. But yep, it was one of those days. I got up this morning, I didn't really feel good. I don't know if you can kind of tell. I'm a little under the weather, so I didn't make it into work today. I don't need to get anybody else sick, so thought since I can't do anything, this is a good opportunity just to sit, and this is what we refer to as prep. So, I mean, this needs to get done. So, might as well sit down while I have a chance. That's a little much. I think I need to mix this up a little bit. There we go. Yeah. He's a dwarf. He'll be fine. Here's an executive looking lady for sci-fi. You know, if you use a airbrush and you see me doing something, you're like, hey, you should try this or try that, please leave a comment. Because I watch videos on YouTube, and that's pretty much how I taught myself to do any of this. YouTube videos, and that's pretty much a hobby. I started all this way back in the day, back when DM Scotty used to actually make trains. Between him and the DMG Info. He's Australian or New Zealand, but yep, those guys got me hooked on it, because I used to paint minis with. Those guys got me hooked on all the train stuff, and I just watch videos, and that's how I get the idea to make my own stuff. This is an elf for Hero Quest, one of the alternative versions. And whoops, sorry. I believe this is supposed to be the female version. Get that Hero Quest Deluxe bundle that I bought. It has boy and girl versions. of all 4 of the player classes. So that's one of the reasons I got it, because I'm like, this way, if I would play with like my wife or daughter or anybody like that, and they wanted to be, hey, I want to be the barbarian, but I want to be the, you know, I want to be the barbarian, bam, you could be the either the big beefy guy that looks like Conan, or you could be the slightly slender girl who looks more like Red Sonja. This is Hyena, EC 3D design. Alright. A couple more. Another archer, probably an elf, I think. Yep, elf archer. Brite Minis. There we go. Okay. Another hyena. Another Pound Guard at Dragon Games. This is Eder Cap. I believe this one is from the Printing Goes Ever on one of their recent releases. I printed one from Printing Goes Ever on, one from Brite Minis, and one from EC 3D Design. Then I'm going to eventually paint them all up, and I'm going to compare them to see which Eder Cap wins out of the 3. And another hyena. All right. And this is another skeleton. It is EC 3D Design. All right. And that's it for the white. So let's clean this out a little. And we're gonna try something. Hopefully I don't ruin it. Okay. But we are... this guy's gonna need a good scrubbing when we're done here, but... we are gonna try... okay. He should be dry enough. I'll bring this guy back out. And the back, I think I want to try... ooh, I don't know if I want to make his back darker and go with a brown, or if I want to make them more bony and go with a white. Bone white. We're going to see what it looks like white. Alright, we're going to see how good I can do this, or if I mess it up too badly. Okay, so we'll add some bone. Put about a dozen drops in there. We will go ahead and add a little thinner, just to be safe, because this is... I do buy air paint, so they should be, so it's not, doesn't need to be as thinned down as like if I was just using straight, like something like this. I also like the scale color, but this is way thicker, so I definitely have to dilute that and thin that down before it'll pass through. Airbrush paint almost goes straight through, but we're gonna thin it down a hair, and let's hopefully not ruin this guy. Okay. Geez, I make myself nervous here. So. I don't know, I just gotta do it. All right. Sorry if my hand's kind of in the way. I'm just trying to keep it from spraying on here and getting it on the body. So, using my hand as a shield here. Alright. Nice thing about using an airbrush, it doesn't take long for it to dry. So he will dry quickly. So, I don't know. What do we think? So we went with like a yellowish body with a bone on the back. I'm probably going to go with a sepia type wash. Something on here to bring out some of the details and darken this down a little bit. For his body though, I wonder if I should come in with something similar or step it up with something else. I don't know. I'm going to let this guy dry and think about what I'm doing with him next. But I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you for spending a little time with me while I painted and ranted about different things. Some ideas I've had going forward with my channel here. I'm getting up to like 160 subscriber, which is pretty cool. So what I was thinking of doing is, if I can get it up to 200 subscribers, what I will do is every month I will paint a miniature. I'm not sure. It might be something that's like, you know, like a medium size, like paint up a guy like this, or it could be as big as this big behemoth. But we will paint a miniature up, and you know, it could be like doing it this way, or just paint them up on the side. But I will show a video of the miniature, and then just have everybody who is interested in being in a giveaway just, you know, leave a comment saying, hey, I'd be interested, and I will randomly pick a person and send it to them free of charge. I'll even pay the shipping. So if I can get up to like 200 subscribers, we will see about starting to paint up some guys live, you know, or live as YouTube gets, and putting them out and for a contest to give them away. All right, well, thank you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, check out the next video right here. It's packed with more great content. And as always, keep on gaming.